beautiful people. It's another awesome moment on the Noble Woman Show. Today's interview is going to be something else because our guest has a lot to share with us. Call somebody that the show has started. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you planning a trip or you're going for a holiday with a lot of destinations all over the world? Just decide on where you want to go and see Ryan Travels will take you there. We offer UAE visa, air ticketing, tour packages, hotel reservations, corporate travels, and many more. You can contact Ryan Travels on 0264 623 091 or 0302 408067. You can email cryanTravels at c.ryantravels@gmail.com. Ryan Travels. You pack, we plan.
Back from the break. This is still the Noble Woman Show. My name is Gabriella. The show is proudly brought to you by Ryan Car Rentals. If you're looking for a car to rent for any occasion, for a funeral, for a wedding, you can contact Ryan Car Rentals. Ryan Travels. They cover all your traveling needs, your ticketing, your visa, anything that you need with regards to traveling. You can call Ryan Travels. Today on the show, we are talking to this woman that I've been looking for a long time. And she has made a lot of impact. She is a motivational speaker. She's a TV host. She's a mother. She's not only a mother to her kids, she's a mother to a lot of people, including myself. She's a woman that will listen to you when you want to talk. She's always there for anyone who wants to talk to her. Today we'll be talking to the amazing Oheneyere Gifty Anti. Welcome, Mommy, to the new
Thank you, Gabriella. It's an honor to be in your presence.
Mommy, it's an honor to have you on my show, on my young show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone knows Oheneyere to be that lively woman full of life, hosting her show, impacting lives, transforming people, and all. How did it all start for you? Tell us about it.
Thank you very much. It's a long journey, but it started in Tama. You know, I tell people that I have a very controversial background. I was conceived at Aflao in the Volta region, born at Chibi in the Eastern region, and raised at Tema in the Greater Accra region. And I've lived my whole life in Tema. I did my primary education, nursery primary education in Tema. I'm the last of 8 children. I'm the last one. I'm the one they call accidental baby. You know, I wasn't planned. I wasn't supposed to be born, but I'm here. You know, so a rebel from birth, you know. So I had a very lively childhood. My father was my everything. I was very close to my father. My father was a very responsible person. My mother and my father separated when I was young. So it was always with my father and my other siblings. We grew up in 8 of us, you can imagine. At a point we were 6 anyway. My 2 big brothers had grown when I was growing and they left home. So 6 of us in a 2-bedroom house. And they converted the dining hall to another room, so it became a 3-bedroom. My father was in one, the girls were in one, and the boys were in another one, you know. So you can imagine, it wasn't a very luxurious, you know, upbringing, but there was love. There was love. My father will go to every length to make sure that the little that he can get for us, he'll get for us, and he will let us understand why we can have what other kids were having. But it wasn't easy. You know, children can be mean. So I was surrounded by a lot of children from very good homes, you know, good in terms of financially okay homes. So they will have things that I don't have. But I've always been, you know, a rebel. I've always had a way of making sure I am okay and I fit in. Sometimes maybe I try too hard to fit in, you know, but everybody knew where I was coming from. But somehow I was that kid that she had to be there. Because when Nana is not around, it's not the same.
Hey, Mommy, you're Nana.
I'm Nana.
I'm also Nana.
You see.
Okay.
You know, that's
growing up as a child, you see, we all have aspirations that I want to be a doctor, I want to be a pastor, I want to be a nurse, a teacher and all. What did you want to be when you were a child?
Honestly, growing up, because of my background, um, what I was influenced by what I saw around me. So I saw, some people becoming clearing agents, and they seemed to be the ones who had the money. So I said I wanted to be a clearing agent. Then it got to a point, then we got land economists around me. So I said I wanted to be a land economist. But ultimately, what I wanted to be somebody to make my father proud.
But what did you study in the university?
I did journalism. I actually went to Tech to go and try and do land economy, but I didn't get admission. I was at Tech for a whole semester. A lot of people thought that I was at Tech, like I went to Tech, but I didn't go to Tech. I went to Hustle. And I was patching at African Hall, and if you know me, I'm a hands-on person. So wherever I find myself, I like to be involved. So I was getting involved in a lot of activities, and people thought that, but I didn't have admission. So I came back, and I eventually went to GIJ to study journalism. Yeah.
Okay. Usually in this field of journalism, media, and all of that, there's this rumor that if you want to penetrate to get to where you want to get, you have to sleep with some people. When you were trying to penetrate or start media, did you encounter such
Oh, yes,
challenges?
I did. As for sexual harassment, it was there. It was all over. But, I'll say that we were a bit lucky because during our time, you were to do compulsory internship.
Okay.
6 months compulsory internship. So you were taken to various media houses, to go and study or go and understudy somebody, a media house. So it's up to you to go and prove yourself. It didn't mean that people will not make attempts on you. They did try, but luckily I didn't have to go through, someone had to, commit to such, advances. I did my internship. I went to Internal Revenue, where somebody advised me to go and try the media house. So I went to Ghanaian Times, I went to GNA, and then I went to GBC, where I did 3 months internship. Then after the 3 months internship, I was retained. I was posted there for national service, and then my journey started. Yeah.
Wow.
But it was hard work. I had to prove myself,
Because I'm just
sacrifices.
wondering
Yeah.
those times there was nothing like social media. It's
Oh,
not
no,
like
no,
now
no,
that
no,
there's
no.
social media that you can just build anything you're doing so quickly.
Yeah.
In your time, there was nothing like
No,
that,
no,
but
no,
you were
no, no.
able to sail
Yeah.
through. What was your
Yeah.
secret?
Hard work and commitment and determination. So I was the type at a point they were referring to GTV as Gifty TV.
Okay.
I was doing everything. You ask me, I'll do it. I'll sacrifice because I was young. I was not married. I didn't have a child. I was just with my father. My father didn't need much from me. So I could go to work in the morning. I'll get home at night. Late at night, working at it. I'm never in a hurry to go home. So I can go to work in the morning shift. I'm supposed to close at 2 o'clock. Around 1:30, somebody has been assigned to go on assignment. And I'll go with the person,
Okay.
to go and learn and to try my hands on something. So, I had a reputation, or as for Gifty, when you ask, she would do it. As for Gifty, whether it was good or bad. But in the long run, it helped me.
Okay.
Because I covered baller assignment to whatever it is. I remember my first stand-up, we call it stand-up or piece to camera, where you stand and the people will see you say, from maybe Bolgatanga, Gifty Anti reporting for GTV News. The first one I did was by a huge pile of, rubbish.
You had to smell
I smell it. I remember, my director I went with, he made me do the stand-up like 20 times.
Whoa.
Standing there, and it got to a point I became the presidential correspondent. I became the voice when it comes to national, events. So it was a journey. It was a process. And I thank God that gradually I got there.
With what you're saying now, with the little you just said, it tells me that when you're single, you can do a lot than being married, because you have been there, you have been single, and now you're married. Do you think what I'm saying is true?
To some extent, it depends on who you marry. And listen, I don't have a perfect marriage. I have a lot of challenges. It's been a journey, Today, 15th October, happens to be my 5th wedding anniversary. And I posted a picture of my husband and I on Facebook, and I wrote, we survived each other. We survived. People were like, how can you say that? I said, yeah, we survived each other because we're two strong people. But I was blessed to have a man who would not stand in my way when it comes to my progress. So, I mean, I could go anywhere. Today is anniversary. You know, he wanted us to go and have breakfast this morning. I said, no, I have a program, I have an interview, so I can't go. So make it lunch or dinner.
Okay.
If it had been any other person, if you were not married to the kind of man who understands you, it was like, how can you go on an next week, then I won't do it again. It can become something else. But it's all about making sure and praying and making that deliberate attempt to look out for somebody who understands your journey, where you are going. And I always tell young people that don't wait till you are married before you start your journey or progress to achievement. Okay. Do it now, so that when the man comes, he knows who you are, what you are, where you want to go. So when you get married and he tries to do, it's like he knew before. My husband, when he came, he knew that he always tells people that he knew I was gifted, but he didn't know that I was that kind of, he refers to me as an institution, you know, before he married me. And so, I mean, telling me that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Sometimes I feel bad that he's going to places and I don't go with him, you know, but I also have something planned already. I also have somewhere. I try my best to go with him. And sometimes I deliberately don't want to go with him because I don't want my presence to overshadow him. Okay. I want him to build his own, you know, fame and his own circle and his own progress.
Do you sometimes feel like you overshadow him?
Yes.
Why do you? Is it
because when I go to places with him, though it is an event, suddenly everything becomes Gifty Anti.
Is it because you're a media person? Or?
Because I was in there and known before him. Most people know him as Gifty Anti's husband. Okay. Okay. You know, whilst in many circles, women are known as, oh, this person's wife. Okay. Do you get it? Yeah. And this is something he knows about it, and he talks about it. It doesn't affect him, so I'm not worried to talk about it. He says it all the time. Sometimes people say, oh, Oheneyere Kuno. That's the chief's wife's husband. Have you, you know? Yeah. Or you say, oh, don't you know him? That's another Gifty Anti's husband. Okay. I had made a name. I had built a brand. I had created a niche for myself before he got married to me. Yeah. People knew me before they got to know him. Yeah. Before he married me, most people didn't know who he was. It was after he got married to me. So sometimes you go to places and it doesn't bother him. But I feel that sometimes, I mean, I don't feel right. It's his event. Okay. It's about him. But then you go there, sometimes I just go with him. He's finished talking, and suddenly said, oh, since Oheneyere is here, let's give her, you know. But traditionally, when the chief speaks, no one else just, you understand. Okay. So sometimes I just have to apply wisdom. You know, sometimes you talk to him like, oh no, but it's no big deal. But of course, everybody knows. And I do know. You know, sometimes people even invite him to go. So, no, it's my wife who is more known, so you need my wife there. You know, he's that type. Yeah. But I tell him that, no, you have everybody gets somewhere through somebody. Yeah. You know, you are here. The things you know, when it comes to traditional issues, when it comes to, you know, research, national development, or you are there. I have my brand too. You know, okay. And together, I mean, I've learned a lot from him. He's also learned a lot from me, you know, but we should be able to have our separate brands and also have a brand together. Okay. Did you get me? Yeah. So I try not to cross that line. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You were a feminist before you married. Mm-hmm. What inspired that? Why did you decide to be a feminist?
Okay, I am a feminist.
You're still a feminist?
I'm still a feminist. I tell people that my dad was the first feminist I knew. Because my father believed that, though I'm a girl, there's nothing I cannot achieve. Everything I put my mind to, I can achieve. Listen, feminism is simple. Feminism is about advocating, advancing, or pushing and fighting for the rights of women to equal that of men. Of course, there are some people who go to the extreme. It's just like everything else. When it comes to religion, there are some people who take it to extreme. Yeah. When it comes to politics, there are people who take it to extreme. I mean, everything, even food, eating, some people take it to extreme. Everything has its extreme form, you know. So there are people who add all sorts of things. But for me, it's the basic simple, being there for women, understanding women, advancing the cause of women and the betterment of women. That's my feminism. As a Christian, I base my feminism on Christian in the Bible. Great women in the Bible who stood up. Talk about even Rahab, the prostitute. Even Delilah, who actually stood up and delivered a whole nation. Abigail, Deborah, who was a judge. And as a traditional person, I talk about Yasantua, Nana Frakoma, you know, so many great women.
So you didn't ever feel that you led women to the wrong path? Because after some time,
absolutely not.
Somebody might be thinking, or I'll be thinking, okay, this woman is trying to encourage a woman who's not married that she shouldn't be worried.
Yeah.
Everything will
Exactly.
be fine. But later you marry, and
Yeah.
what would such a woman think about you?
Because I never told anybody that don't marry.
Okay.
You know, when we started, I talked about when you're married, make sure you marry right. You know the kind of person you're married. If I'd married a man who would inhibit my progress, I would have divorced a long time.
Okay.
And even with this, with everything, you know, God knows how many times I threatened divorce because of the least thing. You know, I have to learn through the process. I never said to anybody that don't marry. Every time I talk about marriage, I talk about the fact that marriage is not an achievement. It is not a trump card. Don't be miserable because you are not married. Don't think that you are not worthy because you are not married or you don't have a child. It is about you, what you bring to the table. People here, we worship and we adore Oprah Winfrey. Is Oprah Winfrey married?
No.
She's not married. We even talk about Ellen, who is a lesbian. The Ellen show,
Yeah.
Ellen the DeGeneres show, and we
Yeah.
talk about, I mean, so what is the big deal? I mean, I was interviewed years ago, over 20 years ago, by this paper, Graphic Showbiz. And I said that I'm a woman on the move. If marriage meets me on the way, fine. If it doesn't, I am going. It doesn't mean that I didn't have my low moments. Those times that people were saying that I was encouraging women that it's okay not to be married and everything, I had done, God knows, a number of programs on marriage on the standpoint on my show. But then I know too many women who are miserable because of marriage. I know too many women who have died because of marriage. I know too many women whose dreams have been cut short because of marriage. I know too many women who have lost their sense of worth and value all because of marriage.
Okay.
And I know too many young people who are putting their lives on hold because of marriage. I married at the age of 45. I could have married, you know, earlier on in life. God knows it. I could have been somebody's second, third, or fourth wife. It could have happened. But one of the main reasons that made me decide to marry my husband, because I realized that he was not intimidated by me. He was not threatened by my success. I mean, he took pride in what I was doing. And he got involved in, so I was like, okay, this is a man who will not, you know, sit on, quote unquote, my happiness or my progress. And I thank God that of the many challenges we've had during, you know, our time of marriage, it's never been, oh, you are traveling too much, or you are working too hard, and you are getting this contract, you are doing that. No, that has never been an issue. He's always been happy for me. If you listen to him, anytime I win an award, he would say that, you know, just keep acquiring the awards and keep it, and then it's also my pride. He prides himself as the husband of an author. You understand? Just make sure that, and listen, and I'll say this with a lot of confidence and still a lot of boldness. I don't think that if you don't marry, and God forbid you die at the age of whatever it is, God is going to punish you, or God is going to deny you from entering heaven because you do not marry.
It doesn't take anyone to heaven anymore.
It doesn't take anyone to heaven. Because indeed, God knows it. You know, one of my young ladies made a statement to me, you know, before I even got married. He said, listen, Auntie Gifty, don't let anybody ask you or frustrate you about things that only God knows the answer to. It is only God that knows the answer. When do I have to marry? When you are born, you know, do you know the kind of person you marry? I never knew I'll be married to a chief. I never knew that. Okay. You know, I had my own dreams about the kind of man I want to marry. And even when I met my husband, it took 3 years before I said yes and allowed him to marry
Let
me.
me get a bit inquisitive. How did you meet?
I was a woman on the move. I had got to, he used to work with Rainbow Radio International, and I'd gone to, it was the 4th anniversary of the Standpoint, and I'd gone to, publicize the program, the Standpoint, and then I met him. He was the program director and he was the host of the morning show, so he was supposed to interview us.
Oh,
okay. That's how I got to meet him, and then we became friends. And of course, because I was in the media already, so sometimes he would ask me to listen to him and correct him, and sometimes provide him some of the questions he should ask. He would ask me if I knew somebody he could interview on this topic, and that's how we started.
I just want to know this, if there's any peculiar reason to that. That means you guys were together for a while before you married.
Yeah.
You said 3 years.
Yes.
Some people will show their relationship off and on, especially with a woman like you who's all over.
Right.
Why did you hide it?
Because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I was going to marry him. I didn't want to, set people's hopes too high, and then dash it. So we kept it very private.
So what made you say yes finally?
As I said, because I found out that he was somebody who was not going to inhibit my progress. He was not going to be a stumbling block when it comes to my progress, because I am so passionate about what I do. And anybody who tries to stand in my way, I'll crush the person, I will crush. So it got to a point I was so sure. Actually, we met in June 2012, and we started dating around October 2012. He proposed to me in February 2013.
And we didn't know that.
Yeah, he proposed to me in front of his family, and it was in front of his family, and so I had no choice. I said yes. But immediately after that, immediately after I told him that, Master, this one is blackmail. It's cancelled. And yet it's cancelled. This one, it's not null and void.
So how did he take it?
He says he's always known I'm not a correct person. I'm crazy. I'm not correct. So he just said he doesn't know why. I mean, we had some, even when we were dating, so many things. At the point we even had to, because of this same, why won't you want to get married to? And I'm a chief, and everybody, So we had to, even we broke up, for 4 to 6 months before we came back again, and then finally we decided to marry. I just had to be settled in my heart. And I was also worried, I'm a Christian, going to marry a chief, what does it mean and everything. Yeah. But I needed to reassure myself that I'm going there with a purpose. I'm going there with an added value. There must be something that I can do, I can offer when I get in there.
Okay, one last question before we take a break. Are you a difficult person to live with?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm a difficult because I'm a rebel.
And you are proud of it?
I'm a rebel. I'm a born rebel. I'm rebel like that. I'm Friday born. Friday is a fear. A fear people are restless. They don't settle easily. They are always kind of on the move. And there are people who are always germinating. There's always something. Harvesting, they need to be harvested all the time for them to harvest all the, bear new fruits.
Yeah.
That is me. I'm very, not difficult in terms of quarrelsome, no, but I'm set in my ways. You need to convince me. I saw a video and somebody talking about AFIAs and said, as for AFIAs, you don't advise them. When you advise them, then they take it. It means that they are convinced themselves, not that because you advise them.
Yeah.
So sometimes my husband will say, I ask him about something, then he will laugh and say, he said, sweet, you know the answer to it. You know what you want to do. I said, okay, no. You, this one, you tell me. This one, I beg you, you tell me. I'll take your, So when I said, okay, I heard, they said, oh, okay. That was what we were going to do already, But yeah, I'm quite set in my ways. I know I'm strong-headed. If this is what I want to do, unless I need to be really convinced and have a conviction that, no, it is wrong.
Okay.
Otherwise, I take calculated risk. Okay. That's me, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Viewers, this interview has a lot to bring out. We cannot have enough of Oheneyere because she's sharing a lot with us today, but we have to end the show anyways today, so we continue next week. I hope you enjoyed the show and you learned a lot from the show. Mommy, your last words for now on the show. What would you tell a young lady watching you who gave up on you because you were a feminist and she was following you, and all of a sudden you married and she gave up on you? What would you tell such a person?
Well, as for giving up on me, if you gave up on me because I got married, then you never followed me. Because no young lady who followed me would have thought, who followed me truly, would have thought that I was against marriage. Even before I got married, I was attending people's marriages and cutting wedding cakes for them.
No.
I cut about 5 wedding cakes before I even met my husband and before I got married too. It's not a piece of cake. You just have to make sure that you are ready. And being ready doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. Making sure that you are mature, you are just deep down, you are ready to make sacrifices, you are ready to love irrespective of despite. Just make sure that the person you are going to settle down with knows your journey, knows where you are going to. Just make sure that you have prepared. You have something you can fall back on. You are not going to rely on the man 100%. Even Dangote's wife, I'm sure, will be able to earn some money on, her own. Prepare whilst you wait and you want to get married. Don't sit down and say you want to wait till you get married before you do anything. If you are at a place you can build a house, build it. If you can buy a car, buy it. If you can buy land, buy it. I mean, do something. Make sure you are going into that relationship with something. The Bible says that women are helpmates. We're created as helpmates. So we are supposed to help. Not just the man, but our community, our society. What do you have to help? What do you have to go and help? Ask yourself questions. And please, I repeat, if you are not married, it's not the end of the world. Don't kill yourself. Those people you are watching saying that everybody's getting married and you are there, do you know what they are going through? Do you know that some people have married and because of that marriage, their life has come to a standstill? Do you know that some people have died because they got married? Do you know that some people have died when they were going to have a child? My father used to say something. Life is not a race. Even if it's a race, make sure you run it at your own pace. Obiani the movement. And my dear, slow motion is better than no motion. Have you seen some people running a marathon race? There are some people when they start full speed, giddy, 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 giddy. As they get close to the finishing line, they degas and they become last. There are some people too who start slow, as if they are not part of the race. Slow. But as they get close, the last 2 laps, you wonder where they are getting the energy from. They run with so much power and so much energy. Today, I just want to urge you. Be satisfied with who you are. Add value to yourself. Be the best version of yourself. You, and nobody else. You can't be like me, and I can't be like you. My destiny is not tied to yours, and yours is not tied to mine. We may meet along the way and help each other, but we are running our own race. God bless you. Stay safe, stay positive, and be happy. Okay? Be happy because you are beautiful.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you so much. Viewers, it has been an amazing time today here with my own mother, Oheneyere, on the Noble Woman Show. We're continuing this episode next week right here on Top TV. The show was brought to you by C. Ryan Travels and C. Ryan Car Rentals. My hair was styled by Lizzie Beauty Center. You can locate her at Mateheko, opposite 1+1, and you can call her through the number on your screen. Thank you so much for staying with us today on the show. My name is Gabriela. Bye-bye.
help.